great episode. Number 100 did not disappoint. Super Saiyan transformations galore as Universe 6 Saiyans finally get their chance to shine in this tournament. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to try to keep this as chronological as I can muster. I mean, it's kind of hard to remember everything, but I did just watch it, so I think I got this. Whew. Anyway, Roshi shows mental composure and serves as the anchor for Universe 7. Remember, Krillin just got taken out. And, quite frankly, he got a chance to shine. He did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then he got eliminated in a very embarrassing fashion. It's a very Krillin fashion, but with Krillin comes embarrassment. I mean, this did lend way for some top quality bants at Krillin's expense, though, right? His wife being the hardest on him to boot. And if you thought 18 was going to downplay her lust for money, then you'd be wrong, as she calls her husband out on buying the expensive training equipment just to be eliminated first. And, again, 16 got in on it. It was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But, after all that, Ciampa tries to get in on it. And I'm not entirely convinced he means anything by what he says. I said last time, I'll say it again. Ciampa is likely just as worried about Beerus as he is himself. This is either his way of coping, or he's convinced he'll win the tournament and save his brother. I don't believe there is any chance of him actually being this callous towards Beerus. It's just kind of their thing. It'd be weird if he wasn't. And I just think it's a coping mechanism right now. He definitely seemed very concerned about his brother when everybody else was plotting against Universe 7. I mean, their last actual interaction was when Beerus used the Dragon Balls, the Super Dragon Balls, to bring Earth back, just so from Universe 6's Earth, just so Ciampa could enjoy the same food that he does. These brothers care about each other, they just bicker, and when you bicker on a quote-unquote godly level, I guess it gets a little extreme, Whew. But yeah, alright, let's get off of that for now, because I talked about that last episode. Moving on to Vegeta. Yeah, I was pretty much right about Vegeta being a non-factor. In fact, the fight doesn't even happen. Kawa jumps in, it takes, just takes the range from him. He even casually eliminates 2 opponents, just like it's nothing, right? I mean, the confidence boost he shows is really interesting to me. I mean, he knows how far out of league Vegeta was before when they fought. Right, he taught him how to go Super Saiyan. He's like, that's great, wonderful, you did really neat there, Kaba. Boom, eliminated, done. But this time he's like, Vegeta, it's time for you to take a trip out of this ring. So, Kaba's got something going. I mean, I wonder how strong he's become now that he's able to train his Super Saiyan form. Because remember, he never gotten to train the Super Saiyan form. He just kind of did it, oh wow, look, my hair is gold, check it out, Vegeta. And then he, got destroyed. But, yeah, I mean, he's not the only Super Saiyan to transform, but it's going to take a little while before we see another one. Because next up is Kale, and she really manages to earn some sympathy points with the viewers. Now, I like Kale, okay? She hasn't had ample opportunity to prove herself, but that hasn't stopped a lot of people from hating on her. I mean, she's already a sympathetic character. Characters such as her are rather scarce in the world of Dragon Ball. And this might be what's rubbing people the wrong way, because especially when it comes to characters on the front lines. She's a little whiny, she's timid, she has no confidence whatsoever. The last character we saw this in was Gohan. And like Kale, they both have fits of rage where they become super powerful. So there is a little bit of, I guess, similarity between her and Gohan as a child. But a lot of people don't like characters, especially female characters, who are whiny or sad or have no confidence. And quite honestly, I appreciate characters like that because they have the most room to grow. And, it's a shonen anime. But anyway, getting to what I'm saying here, I know quite a few people in the community do not like her as a character. And they see her as a one-trick pony and a Broly facsimile. But whatever, man. Watching her get manhandled the way she was more than enough to bring the viewer on her side. And if you don't feel sympathy for the character at that point, I don't know what to say to you, man. That being said, though, we did get to see that she is pretty adorable in her base form. I mean, Caulifla chose her to be her protege, and I guess that's starting to make some sense. I mean, even in her base form, she might not be throwing punches as much. And I'm sure when she does throw a punch, she's holding back because she's not confident. But you can't hold back on surviving hits. I mean, she got gut punched how many times? And yeah, she lost consciousness, or maybe she played dead. I don't know. Whatever happened, she just kind of like dipped out of there. I mean, she was like, "All right, I'm done," until she was taken to safety, and now she's standing up, walking around. She's fine, absolutely fine. Cauliflower knows she's fine. It's like, "Hey, let's go fight that other Saiyan." So yeah. Anyway, when Cauliflower does jump in, she just makes really short work of the two guys who are assailing Kale. In fact, she eliminates one of them, the big sumo guy. I forgot his name. In fact, I'm starting to think Owasu in his universe, his time might be numbered. I mean, how many combatants do they even have left? Like 5? I mean, one of the Dorks Kaba one-shot was from their universe, I'm pretty sure. And spoiler alert, the other guy that, Cauliflower was wailing on, he gets eliminated this episode too. I think they do have like 5. So, Universe 10 likely might not be around for much longer. So, yeah, also, you know what? We're talking about Cauliflower. Let's keep talking about her for a second, because I want to take a moment and just say she's become my favorite part of Super right now. Her personality is completely off the rails, and when we normally see this sort of trait in a female character in an anime, it's usually done to sexualize the character in one way or another, whether it's just making her into a complete skank at one moment, then a normal human being the next, or tsundere, or however you pronounce it. I've never actually heard it pronounced, my bad. Where it totally callous towards a guy, but she totally likes him, and it's like really stupid. I know people like it. I've never seen the appeal of those characters. But she's the opposite, right? Cauliflower's personality traits are either super upbeat and cute, or overconfident and eager to fight. You know what? She is actually sort of how I imagine Pan developing. This was back before GT, like when I saw Pan at the end of Z. And I was like, wow, she's like little Goku. Oh my goodness, but she's adorable. What could she grow up to be? And quite honestly, I mean, I like this I like this character. She is basically how I thought a Super Saiyan female would be. She's fun and upbeat, overconfident, and wants to fight. There you go. But, and in the end, Cauliflower was 100% Cauliflower this episode, right? She's either super overconfident in declaring people's defeats, or just eager to learn how to, just to learn and fight. And, I mean, she goes and she learns more about the different grades of Super Saiyan, and is taught by Goku the true nature of Super Saiyan 2. I mean, she kind of fell into the same trap Trunks did, right? She's an inexperienced fighter. I mean, she's kind of like a street rough, right? I mean, a street tough. She doesn't really... She's strong, she's a Saiyan, but she doesn't fight. I'm trying to find a way to really explain this. She's a warrior by nature, but how much experience does she really have fighting for her life? I'm going to guess very little. So much like Trunks, she came in with the buff form of Super Saiyan 2, or the pre-Super Saiyan 2. I mean, I guess the Ultra Saiyan, or whatever you want to call it. And I forgot what the actual term was, I apologize. It's like grade 4 Super Saiyan. But anyway, yeah, I mean, she completely, goes all buff. Goku explains how she's sacrificing speed for power, and she's like, oh. And it's something she experienced. I mean, Super Saiyan 2 is something she did experience, but only in emotional crisis. I mean, she thought Kaba was going to die, and that Kale was going to do it. Kind of a quick, act quick or everybody dies sort of situation. So, yeah, but she sees it performed by Goku, and it's enough to get her back on track with how to accomplish it. Again, a lot of people crap on her and Toei and Toriyama for choosing to make her power up so quickly. I'm going to make a video on this one too. Guys, people who watch Dragon Ball, like myself, we've seen this before. The Saiyans that Dragon Ball Z fans love so much, we despised because they took Dragon Ball, a martial arts thing, and made it all about how powerful you can be and how every new character was more powerful without having to train for it. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to you guys? Anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. Just that I'm not blaming Cauliflower for learning Super Saiyan 2. They've written into it. I mean, it makes sense with the show. They evolve differently. They've evolved more. They are a more well-rounded race than the Saiyans of Universe 7. That's all there is to it. But, yeah, but getting back to the whole Super Saiyan 2 thing, it does have a few flaws. It augments your personality, makes you a little less loving. You remember how Goku, when he first turned Super Saiyan, he got really sharp with Gohan when Gohan was questioning him? Super Saiyan 2, Gohan became so arrogant that it didn't even matter. I mean, he didn't care about anything. He was just like, I'm gonna kill you, I want to make you suffer. And then you have Goku in Super Saiyan 3. Every time he turns Super Saiyan 3, he becomes an arrogant little punk. He doesn't become the Goku we know. So each grade of Super Saiyan does augment your personality and makes you more harsh with people, less understanding, less caring. And this might actually be what caused Kale's transformation into the Berserker mode. Yeah, instead of getting any sort of words of encouragement for Cauliflower, she receives the cold shoulder. A bit out of character for her, to be completely honest. But again, it's the whole Super Saiyan 2 thing, and she is a Saiyan, and finally being able to test her new transformation out against probably the strongest Saiyan she's ever met, maybe ever will meet. It's pretty difficult to pass up. I mean, I can understand her not wanting to be distracted by the girl she's been babysitting this whole time. Let's be honest here. Kale's not been pulling her weight. It's not her fault. She was put into a situation that she wasn't ready for. And heck, Cauliflower should know this. She couldn't go... I mean, she's been struggling to hit that Super Saiyan 2 mark the way she did back when she first achieved it. She's been failing at it. And she should know what it's like for Kale not to be able to hit that transformation whenever she wants. But with all that said, I do believe that the Super Saiyan 2 transformation did indirectly cause Kale's transformation. I just don't see Cauliflower, just shrugging Kale off otherwise. But speaking of Super Saiyan Green, now look, I know it's being called Super Saiyan Berserk / Berserker, but I like green, alright? It's my favorite color, and Super Saiyan Green, I like it. It's great. But yeah, when Kale transforms, it gets everybody's attention. Key combatants from each universe takes note of this. Though the only one that seems pleased about it is Frieza. I mean, the one thing I noticed from that quick cut was Frieza's smirk. Maybe it's just like maybe it's part of like his training, right? Because he wants to give a different vibe than how he's really thinking. Like he's mentioned this a few times now that he can completely hide his intent from people. And so that little smirk he always seems to have could just be like his resting face now. I don't know. But here's the best part, guys, right? Nobody recognizes this form. Super Saiyan Green, Berserker, whatever you want to call it, nobody recognizes it. Vegeta, Goku, Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, Roshi, nobody from the Broly movie recognized it. And I'm not surprised, but this was the one chance they had to even remotely make Broly canon, and they punted it. Thank you, Toei. I never liked Broly. I don't like the character. I don't like I'm super powerful for superpower's sake. I mean, I guess Kale does fall in that a little bit now, but she's more of an homage to Broly. I don't think Kale would even exist without Broly, so thank you for that. But I never cared for Broly. I never really cared for non-canon content, to be honest. And now I don't have to. But, by the way, guys, if you like Broly, that's fine. I'm not, ragging on you guys. I'm just happy we didn't get him canonized in any way. But with all that said, the fight between Kale and Goku reminded me a little bit of the whole Ten Shinhan versus Semi-Perfect Cell fight. I mean, Kale may have been dominating in this entire fight. I mean, Goku, every time he tries something, he just got grabbed and dragged through something. Like, literally, his body just gets dragged through whatever geometry is around. But it didn't really seem to, do any proper damage to Goku. Goku never really winced. He was just like, oh, I'm being taken on a ride. I can't really stop it for some reason. So, yeah, if Kale was even remotely in control of herself, she would have been in control of that fight. Completely. And Goku was just kind of like being ragdolled around. It wasn't bothering him, though, right? Like I said, it reminded me of the whole Semi-Perfect Cell thing where Ten Shinhan was completely controlling, dominating Semi-Perfect Cell. Semi-Perfect Cell was at his mercy. But Ten Shinhan couldn't actually put a dent on him. And that's kind of, that's the first thing I noticed here, where you have, like, this power, maybe a superficial power, and she just has no control of it. And we see that as she just goes crazy and starts shooting out energy blasts everywhere, unable to contain the ki as it just bursts out of her body. And her freak out here eliminates a handful of opponents, I think. We definitely see the one guy that she was, that was punching her in the stomach earlier, get eliminated. I just wanted to give us a little bit of catharsis with that. But, then she bops a Pride Trooper for good measure. What was it, Vuan? Bye-bye, Vuan, or whatever your name is. By the way, I was a little confused, right, because I was expecting a punch, and they did this, like, little cut, like, jump cut sort of thing, or merge cut, where instead of showing the hit, they just show, seemingly in real time, which is weird, but shows one of the Xenosamas just eliminating him from the board, so whatever. But here's the one big surprise for me, right? Kale was stopped, but not eliminated. I mean, it's no big surprise who stops her, but she isn't actually eliminated. You would think that the one way to stop this berserk Super Saiyan Green form is going to be by actually eliminating her, knocking her out of the arena somehow, pushing her around. The idea that she would actually just be knocked out of it through a really strong attack without actually knocking her out of the ring. And it's not just like the logistics of it, it's more along the lines of storytelling. That means Kale's not done. Kale is not done yet. She could come back in a major way. I mean, we obviously know Jiren, by the way, Jiren was the one who, like, bopped her away, didn't kill her, otherwise she'd be eliminated, and he's a pride trooper. He's not all about the killing, I don't think. So, if she can recover from the hit from Jiren and the power drain from the transformation, we could be seeing more from her. And honestly, I don't know what they're going to do when they do, right? I mean, I don't think she's like Broly, where she's just like, Kalikora! Like, she doesn't forever hate Goku. I mean, once she comes back to her senses and realizes, oh, I was just misreading that. You know, I went out of control when I transformed. Caulifla ignoring me doesn't mean she hates me. It just means, or that I'm a bother to her. It just means that her transformation, can maybe change something. I don't know. But she'll understand, I'm sure. And I don't think she's going to hate Goku forever in the same way she's not attacking Kaba still. So she is more than a one-dimensional character. She just can become a little unhinged. And that is just a nightmare for everybody. But yeah, there's one thing for certain something we don't know, and this is like the biggest question I have. I know I said a big surprise, but this is the biggest question I have. Was Kale reaching out for Caulifla's approval when she came at her? Because remember, Caulifla was like yelling for Kale, right, trying to get her to calm down, and Kale responded. Kale came through a wall, reaching out for her. Now, was she reaching out for Caulifla because she was called for her approval, or was she in a blind rage and was going in for the kill? We're going to have to wait to see, but if this Berserk mode could make her go from having a, like, oh no, you took my cyst from me, and turn it into, oh, I don't care who I kill. Oh look, it's Caulifla. I mean, this is actually really important to know, because we need to know if she's going to go down the same route that Broly did, wherein she is just, like, completely unsavable, where this rage is going to eventually cause her to die, and then come back for 2 terrible movies, or if it's just something that she did have control of, and she, Caulifla was able to pull her out of it. But anyway, those are my thoughts for this week's episode. Number 100 is in the books, and it was a good one. I'm Under, and I'll see you next time with the next Dragon Ball Super review, and I can't wait. I'll see y'all later.